Hey guys, so I've decided I'm going to start making. First of all, I want to make videos more regularly because this is ridiculous. I'm putting out one, like I'll put out three in a week, and then a couple months later, finally I get around to doing another one. So I want to be a lot more consistent in this. So I'm going to start making a lot of shorter videos, and I also want to just talk about language learning in general, as opposed to trying to teach specific aspects of Spanish or French or German or whatever. And I thought, well, this, I could do like a combination of just short, simple tips and maybe the occasional opinion video. This is going to be the latter. I want to talk today about how long does it take to learn a language? Can I, does it take? Can I learn it in 3 weeks, 3 months, or 3 years, or is it impossible to get to native level proficiency? Even in several decades, if you start as an adult, it is not impossible. By the way, you can do it in a few years of really intensive study if you really want to. But there's a lot of bullshit out there about this, and I think this is caused by a combination of people who don't know what they're talking about because they've never learned a language before, or they haven't, or at the very least they haven't learned one as an adult. They might have, maybe immigrated, say, just for example, they might have immigrated to the United States from Russia when they were 3 or 5 or something like that, and then picked up English, and so they speak decent-ish Russian still, maybe because they still use it with their family, and English, so they call themselves bilingual, and they say, well, I know what I'm talking about. No, you don't. As far as what it takes for an adult to learn a foreign language and what's involved with that, no, you don't. Because you don't remember how you learned that language is the real problem. But okay, here's the thing. What do you mean when you say speak a language, like speak Spanish, speak French? Do you mean you want to be able to have just like normal conversations with people like you do in English, or whatever your native language is? Is that what you mean? And you don't care about reading or writing, and you don't care about anything more difficult than conversational level use of the language, which would mean that's probably, if you're not familiar with the CEFR scale, which stands for something European Framework Reference for Languages or something like that. It's probably the most universally accepted, the most accepted, I should say. It's not universally accepted, but it's the most accepted way of gauging someone's ability in a language, like level A1, A2, B1, B2, etc. But anyway, that would put you around B2 level. All right, but that's only B2 level speech. All right, because passing the B2 level exam requires you to do reading and writing as well. And this is what a lot of people mean when they say they want to be able to speak a language. What they really mean is they want to get to around B2-ish level spoken ability, and they don't care too much about reading and writing. They would like to be able to read menus and newspaper articles maybe in the language, maybe an occasional book, but they're not. That's not really their main focus. Do you mean you want to be able to use it in an academic environment? Do you mean you want to be able to pass a specific test? Do you mean you want to be able to move to that country, live there, and get a job there? Everything I just mentioned, that's all really different. All right, those are all very different goals that require very different skills in that language, and consequently differing amounts of preparation, and they require different amounts of time preparation. And another thing is, how much time are you putting in per day? Are you going to put in 30 minutes a day or 3 hours a day? I tell people that I got fluent in Spanish in 6 months using my method, the telenovela method, where I learned Spanish from mainly TV programs and movies, a lot of which were telenovelas. That's Spanish for soap. That's what a soap opera is called in Spanish. And the only reason for that is not because telenovelas are better. The only reason for that is because at the time, about a decade ago, they were the only ones I could find on TV with Spanish subtitles because they had closed caption for the hearing impaired. Univision and Telemundo were putting closed captions on them. That's the only reason that I went with telenovelas, which is why it's called the telenovela method. I've thought about changing the name because I'm kind of afraid it maybe overemphasizes telenovelas, like those are better than a movie or something. They're not. Use whatever appeals to you. Movie, book, magazine, songs, podcasts, YouTube videos. It doesn't matter. That's fine. But when I tell people I got fluent in 6 months using that, that was with like 4 to 6 hours per day, you know, like 6 days a week of study of Spanish, mainly utilizing popular media. All right, and the reason I mention that is because I don't want people who are only going to be able to put in 30 minutes or an hour a day, which is a lot of you because you're working, you got day jobs, to hear that and think, because that'll make you think, wait a second, you know, half an hour, because you're thinking in your terms, so you're thinking half an hour a day for 6 months and you got fluent. I don't believe that. That's bullshit. And if someone tells you that they got fluent in 6 months in a language with half an hour a day, that is bullshit. But that's not what I'm saying. I put in like 4 to 6 hours per day, at least sometimes more than that, working on Spanish for nearly 6 months straight. And when you think about it like that, you realize, oh, that makes a lot more sense. So I just wanted to say that. What do you think?